All right, let me go back to the game and see if anybody's get one started. Okay, looks like, yeah, they're doing another one, ASDF. We'll go back and watch that. Let me turn the crosshair overlay back on because there isn't one in the game. So it looks like this time the first frag is going out to pimpjuice. So unlike the last time we saw these two play ASDF where Legions jumped down to a 6-0 lead, this time pimpjuice getting the better Legions in the initial battle, and he's going to do a very nice job of picking up that belt, despite the fact that Legions actually had position on it and could have slid in there before Legions did. But it looks like I missed that combo by Legions. Very well placed. Erases the belt of pimpjuice and gets himself back into control. Stacked up to 100 health, 150 armor. And that's something we saw Legions do. He's quite comfortable fighting from behind. He can use those high damage weapons like the sniper, if you can connect with the headshot, like the rockets, like a shot combo, to completely erase the stack of his opponent. But look at the tactician pimpjuice just standing around the corner and waiting for Legions to expose himself to do some damage with the flak. Now, probably didn't do as much as he'd hoped to do with that opportunity, catch him by surprise, but steals the armor with the wall dodge, showing off the elegant movement. But it looks like he will be forced to concede the belt. So nice job by pimpjuice to at least get the armor. But unfortunately, Legion's so good with the rockets and uses that stinger as a finishing gun. Good instincts as well to know that pimpjuice was on death's door, and he could finish him off with that minigun. You don't want to pull that minigun out unless you know he's wounded, like about to die. A little bit of a movement misstep there, as he will recollect the armor. And this one seems like they're a little bit more evenly matched on. Pimpjuice a lot more familiar with it, at least compared to a race. But man, Legionz just seems to have a great instinct of knowing where pimpjuice is going just off of initial line of sight. So he'll see him, and then he'll lose sight on him, but then he kind of has a good idea of what route he's going to take and where he's going to go. And then the mental timing of knowing about how long it's going to take him to get there allows him to force the issue and take that fight on his terms, because he basically went at him with the rockets and timed it perfectly, because pimpjuice was coming around the corner when Legionz expected him to, and finished him off with the rockets. So good on him for that fight, but it looks like he's made a bit of a mistake as he's allowed pimpjuice to restack up 150, 104. I'd like to see Legionz do a bit better job of collecting all the power-ups and armor when he does have the full-on advantage. He's kind of opening the door for pimpjuice to get back into this, when if he was a bit more aggressive, if he pursued more, he might, turn map control into more frags per minute, so to speak, a quicker pace. And you see Legionz moving to cut him off. Oh, so good! Hits him with the primary, up close and personal with the secondary. It's a shock-on-shock battle, and hits the strafing dodge combo to finish him off, and he's going to get that next belt. But Legionz showing that savvy awareness to cut him off during that last fight, but he did make a bit of a mistake to allow pimpjuice to kind of get away scot-free and not turn that one frag into a 2-for-1 deal, a BOGO, if you will. Buy one, get one while they're hot. And Legionz hitting the spree with that elevator jump rocket. Extends his lead to 4. But again, pimpjuice came back from being down 6-0 the last time they played this tonight. We'll see if Legionz learns from his mistakes and doesn't allow pimpjuice to get back into the game. But, that wasn't all Legionz making mistakes. That was also pimpjuice being opportunistic and playing it intelligently, making moves when he did have control, taking advantage of having the health stack, of having the better weapons. You're seeing Legionz try to bait out the armor. And the funny ragdoll physics there. does get the frag because he realized instead of comboing the armor, I've got line of sight. I realize he's not coming up the ramp. I need to shoot past the armor and see if I can do some AoE damage. And he actually does one better. He gets the frag. So another 6 frag lead here. About 10 minutes on the clock. Again, pimpjuice came back from a deficit exactly like this the last time they played this, prior to playing a race. And this time, let's actually go watch for pimpjuice here, since he is the man down. See if he can make his monumental comeback happen once again. Forced to back off, picks up the couple of health packs. Still has 50 armor. But it looks like legionz, yeah, setting himself up to get the belt once again. I think he's had 100% of the belts so far. pimpjuice is going to want to try to get the armor. He's set up to get it. But has to make sure he doesn't expose himself to getting nailed by a combo or a rocket from legionz, who's just been so surgical with me. He does get that armor, although pretty much uncontested by legionz. So now we'll have a full-on fight. They're both stacked. Will they finish each other off, or will one get away? And it will be pimpjuice retreating, heading for high ground, trying to get himself some health and armor. And legionz baiting out the pads, comes up, swinging with the rocket launcher from the elevator jump. Has pimpjuice down to 6 HP. And this is where legionz has faltered a bit. Has pimpjuice on the ropes and can't come in for the knockout punch. Has to finish him off and is allowing pimpjuice to get away. He's picking up health. He's picking up armor. Picking up the helm. Yeah, he still doesn't have enough of a stack to contest with legionz and has to surrender the belt once again. But these could be frags. Again down to 3 HP is pimpjuice. I played with fire there and actually peeking, but why? I don't understand why legionz isn't coming at him at this point. I know you don't want to get careless and just run into easy damage, but he had such a high stack on him, and now you see it completely erased. Although I think part of that was just being the Link OP, as pimpjuice just chewed away that belt. I mean, just grinded through it like a rock hammer, like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption. Just slowly chipping away. And finally does get back on the board. That's his second frag. And a long drought for pimpjuice. But let's see if he can mirror what he did previously and turn this one frag into 7 in a row. But no, legionz says not today. The Rockets just too good, as he will finish him off. Sends him into oblivion. Not the Elder Scrolls. As completely stopping the momentum of pimpjuice. And that combo puts pimpjuice down to 3 HP. It's like his favorite health level right now. And legionz is content to keep control of the map. Perhaps the reason he didn't force the issue like I thought he should was because he's scared of that comeback of pimpjuice. Because he's been on the business end of it. Where pimpjuice came back and won despite legionz having a comfortable lead. I mean, it's not insurmountable, but it is comfortable. Armor's up. Looks like pimpjuice is going to try to bait it. Doesn't connect with the sniper rifle, though. And down to 4 HP. He has consistently gotten away when he's had single-digit health. Which is surprising, because what that means is that legionz could be leading by double digits at this point. Because there were a lot of opportunities where legionz is almost fully stacked and pimpjuice has literally nothing. Not a great weapon. Single-digit health. But I just think pimpjuice has legionz a bit wary of chasing. And you don't want to get in a habit of just chasing blindly around corners. A smart player can lay down damage that you're just going to walk right into. I call them landmines. Essentially, laying down a combo, laying down some well-placed rockets, a flak secondary, any of those things that your opponent's going to walk into and take massive damage. You just don't want that to happen when you have the stack. And you have the lead, because they actually have to come at you. I mean, yeah, if they want to keep running, they can lose the game. It'll be a boring closeout to the match, but if they want to win, they have to chase you down and get the frags. So technically, legionz is playing it smart. It's just it's surprising to see that pimpjuice has gotten away so many times when he's had single-digit HP. And there you see, I think pimpjuice getting his first belt of the map. And that could be a potential turning point for him if he can turn this into multiple frags in a row. But the time is slowly ticking away, approaching that 4-minute mark, down by 8. This would be an even bigger comeback than we saw in their previous matchup on this map earlier tonight. Oh, great combo by legionz to erase that belt. Has him down to 63 HP, trying to finish him off with the rockets. Can't quite connect, though. pimpjuice tries to escape, but serves himself up. It's a skeet shoot, and legionz is on point. Pull! Down goes pimpjuice. Hitting the spree, backing into the belt. legionz carrying that momentum that he had on a race, as pimpjuice just does not seem to have an answer here on ASDF the second go around. I just feel like right now legionz, his rockets especially have been deadly. He's had great cutoffs, and he's had pretty solid power-up control. The only mistakes I feel he's made, and you know, really they aren't necessarily mistakes, it's just maybe being a bit too passive, not being opportunistic enough. But he's winning by double digits at this point. 11 frag lead. Can't really find too much fault in what he's doing. And obviously me having, you know, x-ray vision and knowing the exact health of both of the opponents, it's easy for me to say, hey, he needs to go after him. You got the stack, he doesn't. Well, he doesn't necessarily have all that information. Obviously, a lot of it's instinctual, and players get better and better at intuitively knowing how much of the health advantage they have over their opponent, but it's not always the case. There's a lot of things to keep in mind when you're playing duels. You know, other than just your opponent's health and yours, you know, timings, what's your opponent's favorite weapon, you know, what's worked the best against you and how do you neutralize. I mean, there's all kinds of things going through your head that you have to keep up with. So it's easy for me to criticize from where I'm sitting. Thanks, Tetsu. Just give you some sound bites of me casting. Oh, legionz, what did you do? Can't shoot yourself in the foot, friend. It's gonna leave a mark. Minute 30 on the clock, and it looks like legionz is going to close himself out another one as he picks up another belt. I would venture to guess he's had 90% plus of the belts thus far. And had such a commanding lead that really that TK, that kill, not a TK, it's that suicide, really didn't affect the outcome too much. Right back in control of the map, as pimpjuice losing that engagement for the most part, down to 22 HP and forced to retreat. And again, legionz content to back off, restack up. Doesn't need to chase. It's all up to pimpjuice to try to make something happen. But whoa! 2 great sniper shots in a row. Unfortunately, pimpjuice didn't get the finisher on legionz. Had him at 3 HP, but legionz connects with the shot mid-air. And if I'm pimpjuice, I'm staying off the jump pads, because as soon as I'm floating, legionz is hitting me. That's beautiful, beautiful twitch aim.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, not being a dueler, I can't commentate too much on the pros and cons or the issues with the armor stack, but, you know, hearing some of the other, you know, top duelers discuss it, I certainly can understand. Whoa! Oh, the spray and pray flak secondary connects. What's that?
3, 2, 1.
What's that? It's the flak you, baby. Flak you. Getting the garbage time kill. It's a nice performance by legionz there. But yeah, as I was saying, I do kind of agree with some of the failings of the armor system right now. And hopefully we'll see some of those things tweaked as as a lot of these top duelers kind of give their feedback to Epic and they start to adjust accordingly. And you know, the more we see games like this, the more we can infer from them, the more data that can be gleaned as far as what's working, what's not working. You know what? I'd honestly